Hey guys, hope everybody's doing well. I've been away from the desk all day today, spending time with my daughter. I just got back home, and I've noticed a couple of things. Getting a lot of alerts, and you're probably getting the same alerts, but getting a lot of alerts from cPanel, your hosting provider, or just in my case, from your cPanel Excel itself, and from probably getting alerts from WordFence, which is the plugin that I like on the site. What is happening is it's not something that hasn't happened before. It's not something that really doesn't happen every day, but every now and then you will. We, what will happen is you'll start getting huge hits on WP login, which is the login URL. It's the standard login URL to a WordPress site. And what happens is these are um, DDoS attacks on WordPress sites to WP login, which means it's hit after hit after hit after hit, just continuously. So we need to take some action real quick. Now we have our sites pretty secure, but this is going to have to do with our shopper portal sites and the sites that use shop clone. So we have to make some adjustments here. So I'm going to show you how to do this. If you're getting warnings, if you have people hitting your WP login, don't panic. We're going to take care of it. So one of the first things I did, I came into my WordFence plugin and I went to performance setup. Now if you followed my instructions earlier, we set this usually to enable basic caching. We don't use the Falcon engine because we're really not set up for that yet. So I went ahead and turned it back off, and the reason why I turn it back off for no performance improvement is so that WordFence can stream the live traffic. Now I showed you earlier how to add another WordFence plugin that shows you traffic from so you can see it from your dashboard, but we want to be able to monitor traffic in this area of WordFence. So let me just show you real quick what I'm talking about. Now when I first started getting the alerts, if you haven't had this on, it's going to take a little bit for WordFence to come on. I'm going to come in here and show you what I'm talking about, but first I want to come back over to my cPanel. Okay, so this is my AW stats for my auto shopper site. Okay, and so what I did is I took a look, I scrolled down, and what we have here is our number one target is WP login. Okay, so you can see how many people are trying to go to that, which, you know, these are hack attempts trying to hack into your site. Okay, and like I said, every now and then these attacks really come on, and really, you know, they really jump up in numbers, and you can see here that that's what's happened to me, and it may be happening to you as well. So let's do what we can to take care of this. One of the first things you need to do is make sure that you have a robots text file. Another thing you can do, if you don't see the robots text here, which you probably already have, but one of the things that you need to do is have this file created. Call your hosting provider. If you got a decent hosting provider, they can do this for you. Call them and say, we're getting a lot of hits on WP login, hits that shouldn't be, and we need to see if we can't divert some of this. And they will create a new robots text file for you that will take care of some of this. Okay, so you need to be looking at this. Let's go back to WordFence and take a look. If you in WordFence in the live traffic, what we're going to take a look at is logins and logouts. So let's take a look at what we got. On the logins and logouts, you're going to see a list of either yourself or somebody else trying to log into your site. Okay, so what we can do is go through here. Obviously, this gentleman from France trying to log in is Trey. And right now there shouldn't be anybody logging in to the site or for my site. There shouldn't be anybody logging in except me. Okay, so you need to take a look at this, and you're going to be amazed at what you see. You're going to be shocked a little bit because the reality of the situation is people are trying to hack your site. And so we need to take a look at that. Here's another one from France trying another user or email. And then we go through, these are me. Okay, here's another individual. Now, when you're going through here, you're going to be able to tell if if these people are trying to access your site when they shouldn't be. Like this person from here, I changed my password. Okay, I'm still using the username admin, but when I started to see other people that were not me trying to log into my site as admin, I went ahead and changed it. And what you can see is that people are trying to log in, okay, and from Houston, St. Louis, and they're trying to use admin, which means to me that it's somebody that had my password and they're trying to log in. So this is something that you really need to take a look at and really monitor on your sites. Now, I know it's tough, but if you have WordFence set up properly, then it'll take care of most of it for you. But you still need to be watching it. Now, what do we do about this, and what can we do to further fix our site so that we can cut down on this? Well, let's take a look at what happens. It's not just that somebody's trying to log into your hack to your site. When you're getting these attacks, DDoS attacks, these are nonstop. They take up a ton of your CPU usage, okay? And that's resources. Without resources, your website will not run. You will start getting, if you have anybody other than in my opinion, Liquid Web. If you have somebody like HostGator, you're going to be getting emails from them. They're going to be shutting down your website, those types of things, because these attackers take up a huge amount of resources trying to access your site. So we need to cut down on that. Now there is one obstacle when we take a look at our shopper portal sites. Because our shopper portal sites are set up to be e-commerce sites, and that means that we will have members on our site. So since we are going to have people signing up on our site, the way that site is designed, that means we can't hide our login, okay? Because we don't want to hide our login if we're going to have people buying stuff from us and setting up our site. So we can't hide our login. Normally on a regular WordPress, we would hide our login and completely do away with this problem. But on our shopper portal sites using ShopClone, we cannot do that. But something else we can do is add a login captcha. This will slow these people down. If they're once they figure out that there's a captcha on your login, they will move on to another site that doesn't have a captcha that will make it easier for them. So let's go ahead and make it as hard for them as possible so they move on to somebody else's website and not yours and not mine. So let's simply go into plugins and add new and go ahead and add a captcha to our site. I've just always used the plugin login captcha or captcha on login. You can use whatever captcha you like. This particular plugin slows down these attacks. They'll move on. So just add a captcha to your login, and when your login looks a little bit different from other WordPress logins, but we still need that captcha on there. So the one I use is just captcha on login. And it tells you right there that it's going to help prevent brute forces, which is what is happening to us. So let's go ahead and install that plugin, and we will activate it. Next, you can go ahead and do a search for WP Robots Text and install the plugin Robots Text and activate it. Now, one other thing we can do, we can go down to WordFence and kind of sure up the security and the traffic to the site that's to WP login. Okay, so if you followed my advice or my training on how to secure your site, you've done a really good job, and it's only in these certain cases that we have to tighten security up just a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and go down to options. One thing that I recommend that you do immediately is go into Duplicator and make a duplicate of your site. Make a backup of your site. Put it on your hard drive somewhere so that you know that you have it. So do that. Make a backup of your site and then do what I'm teaching you here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down into this area where our firewall rules are. And I'm going to go ahead and tighten this up just a little bit for crawlers. And then anyone's request. Okay. So I'm going to bring this down to 240 here, and then well, we don't need that if you human page views. I'm going to go ahead and bring this down to 240. Okay, and then what I'll do is come down and save that. Actually, I'm going to scroll up and save it. Now come into WordFence and into the live activity on your site. Take a look at what's going on your site. you can see exactly every person that is trying to come onto your site and do things. You can do that. I use this on all my membership sites. That way I know exactly who's on my site, what they're doing, what they're trying to do. It's a very good idea to come and check these all the time. Now I know you can't check these all the time. I know you can't keep up with every single thing out there, but it's a good idea to come in and do a spot check on these, okay? So let's take a look at the humans. Let's go back to logins and logouts. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and I have these to no, I don't. Actually, I don't have these to automatically block. So I'm going to go ahead and block these individuals that are trying to log into my site that I know obviously are not me. So that's what you're going to do, is go down through all of them and find the ones that are not you and block all the rest that look suspicious. Okay, so that's what you're going to do. Now let's just go back over what to do at this point. Call your hosting provider and tell them to take a look at the hits on your site, check the resources, and for them to create a new robots text file for you so that it will take care of some of that. WordFence. Go into WordFence and cut down on some of the things that I showed you just a minute ago. Take a look at your logins and logs outs and block everyone that's trying to log in that you know is not you and is suspicious. Make sure you put the caption on your login page. Okay, these things together with what you already have will cut down on the brute force attempts on your site. So go ahead and get that done. It's very, very important. Do that tonight, okay, before you go to bed, and we'll see you tomorrow.